We are WNST, AM 1570, Taos, Baltimore. We are Baltimore Positive. We are positively in Ocean City, Maryland. It is Mako. I'm doing everything but getting in the water. I did put my feet in the water last night, but I think I'm done until Saturday. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. I had Maryland Lottery representatives stop by. I have the Lucky Sevens doublers, the Pressure Lux. We are doing our 27th anniversary. We are doing our 27 favorite things to eat. This guy here may be a part of this unwittingly and not know it. He's the mayor of Frederick, Maryland. I always say it's one of my favorite towns because the Crab Cake Tour put me out on the road 4 summers ago, and I went to lots of places I had never been. Now, I had been to downtown Frederick, but I hadn't been to the funky arts district version of Frederick. And my wife and I went to Frederick. We were actually in really nice bar down on the corner. I had a crab cake there the night that J.K. Dobbins blew his knee up for the Ravens. I was in Frederick tonight watching that Redskins game. I think they're still red. They weren't Commanders quite yet. They were Washington football team time. But Frederick's a place like my wife and I now make as a destination. I've told you this. We go out, we get oysters, we get beer, we hang out, Idiom, all those kind of places. But Bakehouse is what I'm about. You know I'm about to say that, right? Do you go to Bakehouse, Mr. Mayor?
I do. Not as often as I want to, but that's probably
well,
for
that's
my.
How you're staying skinny.
It's probably for my health.
Michael O'Connor is the mayor of Frederick. He's a returning champion on this program here. And how's life in the great town of Frederick?
It is. I'll just say Frederick is not one of my favorite.
It is your
cities.
favorite.
It is my favorite, unquestionably. It's tops on the list.
Where are you from? I don't know the whole story.
I'm from Frederick. I grew up in Frederick when downtown was not nearly as vibrant as it is today. And
so you've seen it all change.
I have. Went away to college to do what you're doing, to do media work, and did that for 20 years. And when I got out of college, opportunities to do that kind of work in Frederick were there. They weren't there when I was a kid.
What did you do?
I was in radio for about a decade, and then I went into television for about a decade, working for the cable company, doing local origination programming. So we were producing newscasts, interview shows, roundtable discussions on politics
really,
and whatnot.
This is what you did. Then.
Arts. We did sports. We did Frederick Keys baseball games. We did high school sports.
I threw baseball in there.
We did all. It was a very robust.
You got your picture made with Mike Elias.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. That was a big day.
Well, let's talk baseball first. I mean, I
love that.
I think for everybody
if we could just talk about baseball, I would be a perfectly happy guy.
I'd rather talk about cupcakes and stuff like that too. But the baseball team and I think the first time I ever came to Frederick was to see the Keys. So the Keys probably came, correct me if I'm wrong, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there.
89 was the first year in Frederick. They played at McCurdy Field then, so we hadn't built the stadium.
Oh, I didn't know. I never went there.
Yeah, so they played in the old sort of municipal stadium, McCurdy Field. Ben McDonald pitched.
Okay, fair enough. I knew that.
One of his I think 2 minor league starts was in Frederick at McCurdy Field. I don't know where the other one was.
Okay.
And that was in Frederick. Had a chance to see Ben pitch when he was just a kid.
Okay.
I was just a kid, too, back then.
I was, too. Ben and I were the same age.
Yeah.
Well, when the Keys happened, there was a guy named Peter Kirk who was the owner of those teams who came and sat in my studio and invited me out to Frederick. And I'm
Keith
like,
Lupton was the GM.
Yep. Going all the way to Frederick. I'm in Dundalk, man, at the time. And I'm like, Frederick, man, that might as well. Is that near, like, Rocky Gap? Is that near, like, Cumberland? Where is that? And I'm like, no, especially you just kind of go out to Turf Valley and keep going another 20 minutes and you're there, kind of sort of.
It's an hour outside of Baltimore, an hour outside of Washington. People have always thought that it was much farther, but that's how miles work.
Well, we say bedroom community, right, at this point, right?
Well, I think that we've actually seen some transition from being that bedroom community. That certainly was the identity kind of in the 70s and the 80s, but we've seen pretty robust business expansion in Frederick as well.
Well, 270
to establish really a destination in and of itself, and so we've got more people living and working in Frederick. We're now other communities, maybe bedroom communities for Frederick in certain industries that we have. Really, that sense of place, I think, is really important to identify Frederick as not just part of the outer suburbs of Washington, but someplace with its own unique identity and feel.
Well, you just said the key thing. When I think of Frederick, live there, work in Washington more than live there, work in Baltimore, I would think. I mean, I would think that probably was, I got a federal job in Washington. Where can I live that's affordable, right? Like if you got assigned to Washington in some federal way,
Well, and in a weird way, when you wake up in the morning and you travel to Baltimore, you're driving right into the sun.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's part of why people would naturally gravitate to commuting south as opposed to commuting east, because who wants to get up every morning and drive literally right into the sun?
But if you come home, you're not driving into it. You have the other choice.
Unless it's wintertime, the sun is setting, and then you're driving directly into the sun at the end of the day.
So why did you never leave Frederick?
That really wasn't the goal. As I said, I went to college and I studied journalism, and I was going to go to work for ESPN or become a baseball broadcaster. That was the plan. And when my first job landed me in Hagerstown, and I was there for about a year before I went to Frederick to work for a radio station there, I just, with every passing day, I became more interested in the local politics, the local government, the things that I was covering every day in the news. And
as a journalist,
asking questions and what was going on. Of course, I met a girl, and
there you go.
That was a reason to stay also, and have a family and all those kinds of things. So, time, when you look back, it wasn't the plan, but in retrospect, it all made perfect sense.
So you grew up a baseball goober.
I love
like
that
me.
game. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I kept score pads and
did all
kinds of nonsense with baseball.
Having Fred Lynn on my show, I'm not starstruck much, but there's something about that if you love baseball, you're my people. My name's Aparicio, man.
Right. I don't know if I would be as starstruck of the players who are playing today if I met them.
I wouldn't be.
But the people who were my heroes and idols when I was a kid watching the Orioles, Eddie Murray and Kenny Singleton and Al Bunbury and
Ben McDonald,
those great teams in the late 1980s and into the 90s. They're the Mount Rushmore for me. And there are a lot of good players. I mean, the organization is developing a lot of good players, and there are guys on the roster now who are going to be in that upper echelon. But
I hope Holiday at a homer yesterday.
Jim
That's
Palmer.
Good. Well, he's not coming back, but they're giving his jersey away in a couple weeks. So that's good. Michael O'Connor's here. He's the good mayor of Frederick, Maryland, where I know you want to talk baseball here because I saw your picture. And so the stadium, Harry Grove, correct? I started driving out there, I guess, 35 years ago, and it was the reason I would go to Frederick. And a lot of times, I think I saw a rehab assignment there that maybe B.J. Surhoff or somebody did. I went up there to see maybe Jeffrey Hammonds or somebody like that in the 90s. But I haven't been to a Keys game in a long, long time. I haven't been to a minor league baseball game. I haven't been to a major league baseball. I just went to a lot of baseball in my life, so I don't go to baseball games as much. But getting this situation back for you, and I could have the former mayor of Hagerstown, Emily, on to talk about the Hagerstown baseball situation there in Meredith Park, and they were all excited about that last year. But this is sort of your moment in the sun. Give me the baseball Frederick story as you know it, from the old stadium to the new stadium, and how it didn't remain vibrant there in the way that maybe it could have or should have. And I know Bowie's rebranded now. Minor league baseball's a hard business, Mike. It is.
It is. And when Major League Baseball made the decision 5 years ago to contract right during the pandemic, the timing, whether the contraction was going to occur if there was a pandemic or if there wasn't a pandemic, who knows. But when I got that call from Mike Elias that the Keys were being pulled as an affiliate of the Orioles, that was a tough day. We sort of expected it because we could see the writing on the wall in terms of the way in which Major League Baseball was evaluating where teams were going to stay.
Well, there were 100 Fredericks that were swept up in this, right?
Yeah, it was. We were one of, I want to say 40 or 50 communities that had minor league baseball, and it was really all about the facility. Harry Grove Stadium is a great venue for baseball, but it's a 30-year-old ballpark that has not seen substantial renovations in that time. Major League Baseball was very interested in their players being developed in facilities where the players had the best opportunity to be successful. Things like state-of-the-art clubhouses and training facilities. Ballparks that don't have the bullpens in the field of play effectively. Things to protect the enormous investment that major leagues are making in these players when they draft them and work to develop them. And I think the thought was if they are paying fewer players on fewer teams, they can also pay those players more. So they could pay the players more and give them better facilities, and we just didn't stack up in the facility department. So we set out almost immediately from that day and talking to the ownership of the baseball team, Attain Sports, about what we needed to do in order to put ourselves in the best position to have Major League Baseball look at Frederick once again as a destination for an affiliated team. And so we worked with the Maryland Stadium Authority, funds that were authorized by the Maryland General Assembly, and got $40 million to do stadium improvements, new clubhouses, new state-of-the-art facilities, training.
$40 million bucks.
$40 million. They authorized a $200 million fund that the Stadium Authority could use to upgrade minor league facilities all over the state. So considering there are only about 5 or 6 of those, $40 million is about the right number.
So what is that? So I just drove by one, here in Salisbury, right? And you had one. Frederick had one at one point, but Hagerstown. And my dad would always try to take me out to see the Hagerstown Suns back in the 70s. I never went out there to the old park, and that's why when Frederick happened, I could drive at that point. I was in my 20s. That it became something. I remember going out with my buddies to see a minor league game. It was more. At that point, Camden Yards was expensive. Early 90s, very full. So there was that, and then Bowie had opened, and obviously Aberdeen and Ripken coming online. What makes minor league baseball? Because it's not downtown in your community, right? Like
it's right on the edge. I mean, it's close enough now, and as we've seen some growth in the city of Frederick, you could argue it's actually a little closer to downtown now than it was when we built it 30 years ago.
Because downtown moved toward it.
Just because there's been more activity around it, so it feels closer to downtown, even though
it's not a downtown ballpark.
It's not
right.
a downtown ballpark, but it's well positioned relative to the interstates and good in and out.
Well, what
which
does
I
it
think
mean
is nice.
so someone comes into a game? I come from Baltimore, come to a game. I'm probably going to come out 70 Park in your parking lot, go to the game, and go home. For me, but that's not the goal. The goal is come downtown, have a beer afterwards, get dinner before. So
Well, and I think that's what's
spend
changed.
The night, right?
I mean, that's really what's changed from today versus 1989, 1990. When the team first came to town, is our downtown is much more vibrant. There's a lot more of those other activities. The restaurant scene has boomed. There is the craft beverage industry that is all a part of it. We now, as of last fall, a small boutique hotel opened in downtown Frederick. So now you can come and you can do an overnight in Frederick and do a lot of other things and stay right downtown. And the stadium is an easy walk if you want to do it, but it's a really short Uber ride if that's your objective as well. So there are only 30 major league teams times 5 minor league affiliates
and
for each one, and
right?
we're high A,
uh-huh.
and we're one of those 150 cities in America that's got minor league baseball. So it puts us on a unique map. It's always been a great baseball town. Even for the years that we didn't have affiliated baseball and we had the Major League Baseball Draft League, it was well supported. But the whole idea is that the ownership is responsible for creating a really great game day experience. So it's about baseball for baseball people like me. I like to see the players who are moving their way through the system. But for people who are not baseball fans like we are, they want a good game day experience. They want to be entertained in the stands.
Affordable.
They want affordable. They want decent food and fireworks and a great night out with the family. And I think that's what has always been a part of what you get at Nimio Field at Hargrove Stadium is you get a really great family game day experience.
So all this money, I saw you were there with pictures, but I didn't read anything, and obviously the Orioles don't send me press releases. Give me a timeline. Get when and what and how and renovations and the next 6-8 months they can be playing on that field in April.
The goal, because of where the improvements are happening, they're not in the field of play. The improvements are happening while the draft league season is ongoing, and we expect them to conclude fall over the winter so that when opening day for the Frederick Keys High A affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles opens in April of 26, they'll be playing in that newly renovated facility with new amenities for the players.
I see a place like Frederick, all those businesses downtown, be interesting for sponsorships and wall signage in the outfield and whether the business community would step up, buy tickets, buy, I don't say corporate suites, whatever the new stadium would be, that would be the bougie VIP thing or whatever, but a night out in Frederick, when you're in Frederick, it's also, Nationals, Orioles, a little more expensive. You got to get in your car. You got to do all that. It feels to me like this is going to be a well-supported local thing. You're not trying to get necessarily people from Towson to drive out there, maybe once in a while, but 50, 60, 80 games a year, you're going to draw within 10, 15 miles of where you are, right?
And a little bit more. I think we'll pull people up from Gaithersburg and Rockville. We'll get down folks from Gettysburg and some. This is where the Orioles connection, it matters to a fan.
That they're not the Cardinals farm team. Right.
So being a half hour or 45 minutes to see a player moving through the Orioles system who you hope one day will land in Baltimore, I think that's a big attraction.
A long time ago in hockey, the Capitals never wanted their farm team in Baltimore because they thought it wasn't punitive enough for a minor league player that could live in Columbia and get sent up, sent down. Now, the Orioles have Norfolk, right? And when they had Ottawa, it was a disaster. I mean, Angelo screwed a lot of things up, but the minor leagues, it was one of the reasons that major league teams stunk. But the notion that they can rehab a player and have him pitch in Frederick High A, all right, go down to Bowie, Salisbury, wherever it is, that makes it a lot easier on the Mike Eliases and the scouts to keep an eye on their players, whereas if your hockey affiliate is in Salt Lake City, you can't get players around. There's always something about baseball that not just for, I'm an Oriole fan, I live in Frederick, or a Nationals fan, it would have to be something local in order to make it more vibrant. And it feels to me like you got your ish together and trying to put this together because Frederick is a different community than when Peter Kirk invited me up there 30 years ago.
Well, I told the Tane when we were working to get minor league baseball back that, the Orioles, an Orioles affiliate for me would be priority one. Nationals would be 1A, just proximity. And then anybody but the Yankees. As long as we didn't have a Yankees affiliate, I felt like, we were not going to be beggars can't be choosers. But I think you're talking a little bit about the old school, new school model, just the way Major League Baseball has approached this player development system now. They're seeing these players as investments in ways that they didn't, when Earl Weaver was the manager.
Sure.
That you don't want to punish a kid by sending him to the minors. What you want to do is develop him into a major league caliber prospect. Now, how do you best do that? Give them a good field to play on. Give them the right training facilities. Give them an opportunity to take batting practice year-round, to throw in a facility where they can develop and grow and train. They've got a lot of money invested in these guys, and they've now built minor league systems that are trying to capitalize on that investment as quickly as they can get it.
I won't forget this. I covered baseball all my life, really, and I probably was a good 10 years into my career in the Major League clubhouse at Camden Yards. I covered games at Memorial Stadium, too, and obviously big difference there in the bouginess of it all. But Camden Yards is on. Bowie's open. You're open out in Frederick. I don't think Ripken was open yet, but it's probably turn of the century. I covered a Bowie. I went down to Bowie for a game. I think I participated in a celebrity softball game or whatever. Got a single off Tippy Martinez. He didn't throw me the heater. But so
you'd be glad he didn't throw you the curveball.
Well, the only place I've gotten a single in my life was off Tippy Martinez in Bowie. So you remember.
Fun fact, Tippy Martinez and I share the same birth date.
Tippy's a good man.
Yeah.
Should have shared his tacos with you as well. So I remember going down to Bowie that night. It was one of those. I've only been to Bowie 5 times, a handful of times. But I went down there as a journalist, which I used to be, and I went into their clubhouse. And it might have been to meet a player who was on a track to be a superstar back in the day. But I was down there working, whatever work was. And it might have even been like Gary Kendall was managing the team or one of my buddies. So I went down to Bowie, and I went in their little locker room down there, and I looked around, and I realized they were eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I'm like, well, this ain't the show. You know what I mean?
No, it is
like,
not.
Just how, when you said punish minor leaguers or whatever, there's sort of already
make them earn it. They got to earn it. They got to earn their way to the
built
majors.
Into being poor, riding buses, being 19 or 20, staying at B-rate hotels, playing in sometimes broken down ballparks in the old days, that the Bull Durham thing really was a thing at that time. And so there is a point for where you're like, these young people are our investments. We need to have them in a better facility. I'll hear that when I saw the peanut butter and jelly 20 years ago in Bowie, that I would hope that they're doing a little bit more humanely these days.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting the clubhouse spread you get at Camden Yards, but my guess is it's not peanut butter and jelly sandwiches anymore.
There's protein in that peanut butter, I guess. Mayor Michael O'Connor is here, former recovering journalist and current politician and mayor of the beautiful city of Frederick, Maryland. Make your postcard for me. Give everybody the assets. Tell everybody why they want to come to Frederick, because I would start with the Bakehouse in your downtown community. I think you and I have said the funky Arts District.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed to tell you how close I came to seeing the Oak Ridge Boys play your theater downtown.
The Weinberg Center is a great asset in downtown Frederick. We operate a smaller sort of black box theater across the street called New Spire Arts. We're the home of the National Museum of Civil War Medicine. We're getting ready to open this fall or early next spring the first Black History Museum in the city of Frederick in city-owned facilities. We just built a new headquarters for our police department right downtown, just a handful of blocks from where they were in the courthouse.
I won't be visiting there. I'll be good when I'm in your town.
Nor should you.
I don't need to see that place.
But they were in cramped facilities previously, and now they've got a space that they can grow. We put a community space in there to make sure that they can connect to the community in the right way.
It also helps you get better officers.
We're working on the development of a youth center in downtown Frederick, a community center out on the west side of the city of Frederick, 76 parks. A lot of great neighborhoods. Like most communities, we're struggling with housing affordability and transportation infrastructure and those kinds of things. We're not unique in that regard, but our goal is to make sure that we're maintaining a high quality of life for our residents, that everything that we do is about making sure that Frederick is the most livable place that it can possibly be, that we're a little better today than we were yesterday, and we'll be a little better tomorrow than we are today.
I love that you said livable, because I was about to pay you the highest compliment that I could possibly pay you, where I say, every time we go to Frederick, we drive around, my wife and I will be like, we can live here. We can live here. This is a good place.
And a lot of people find it by accident. Some people come intentionally, but a lot of people find it by accident because they don't know that it's there.
And they've been calling it Fredneck for 40 years, too. So you had that going on.
And then when they get here, they find out, wow, this is closer than I thought it was. Wow, this is not as far out in Western Maryland as you might think it is. And it's really charming. There's a lot of charm. There's a lot of charm in
funky
downtown Frederick.
Funky Arts District.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell the guys at the Bakehouse I appreciate them. And there are mornings where I wake up. The one morning we drove out, I should tell you, this happened in the last year and a half, and I met the owner of the Bakehouse as well when I was there. It was very obvious he was the owner.
You got to get there early.
Look, I did my stop, my 27 stop. Right now. I had the scone a minute ago from the Ugly Pie right here in Salisbury. Beautiful bakery. It is my second favorite bakery in the state. My favorite bakery.
You're just saying that because I'm here. But thank you.
No, one morning I woke up.
I didn't have anything to do with it other than making it.
One morning I woke up with my wife. Last summer, this is true. And I woke up at like 5 in the morning. And we'd always talked about, because you got to get to the Bakehouse 7, 8 in the morning. You can't roll out there 10:30 in the morning. You're going to be getting the last scone. You're going to get a scone. You're going to hear about the pumpkins and the maples and the blueberries.
Yeah,
but they're only going to have the cinnamon when you get there.
They'll be out of cruffins by then.
I ain't never had a cruffin. I got to go. That's
a
croissant and a muffin?
It's a croissant and a muffin.
I ain't never had nothing like that. I had cronuts.
Often filled with a lot of other really interesting and delicious combinations of flavors. New menu for the spotlighted stuff.
This is an absolute true
first weekend of the month.
Weekend. It was a Saturday morning. I woke up. The weather was nice. About 5:30 in the morning, I made a little coffee. And I didn't have any desserts in the house, any munchies that I like around the house. And my wife woke up really early, like 6 in the morning, and I said to her, I'm like, hey, you feeling all right? Yeah. So I got coffee on. What do you think we get in a car and just make a run for it? We'll go out to Frederick, and we came. I think I spent $35. It's just the two of us. And pastries don't keep that long, but cookies do. Muffins will keep a couple of days. Donut, eat that day one. Bread, eat that one day one or two. But we came home with a box. Giant box, and we had one of this, we had a scone, we had a muffin, we had 4 cookies. The cookies lasted 5 or 6 days. And so every day for a week, I went into my Bakehouse box, and I opened it up, and I cut like half of a scone. But when I go to the Bakehouse, it's like a Blues Brothers mission. I go in early, and I'm desserts for the whole week.
Well, and they're great shareables, so they're sized and good enough that you want to sample a bunch of different things when you do it.
And you know what he told me? He had a bake shop in Baltimore before. He migrated from Baltimore out to Frederick. So there. All the good ones do, right? You'll get me there, Mayor.
Our goal is to be a destination.
All right, opening opening night when you open the new, is it going to be called Harry Grove? Or,
Nimio Field at Harry Grove Stadium. That's not changing.
Okay, good. Make sure I'm calling it the right thing. Come and see. Will all the new improvements be there, or is this everything will be done by April? You think?
That's the plan. Is all the new clubhouses and the new training facilities and all those. The fan experience will be improved a little bit because of expanded concourses and some
so
other
the
kinds
fans
of
will
activities.
notice something.
They will absolutely see the changes. There'll be an opportunity for them to watch batting practice or see the pitchers warming up. There'll be different vantage points for the bullpens and the way that's going to be done. Longer term, there's some other improvements I think we want to make to the stadium to give it that 360-degree access that's become very popular in ballparks now.
Sit in the outfield.
You can you can go around the outfield. You'll have like drink rails and whatnot out there that people can watch the game from the
from
beyond the walls. Yeah, it's going to be great.
I've only been in the Goodyear blimp once in my life. Have I told you the story? I think maybe last time, maybe not. My friends at Brooks Huff Tire, Trey, thank you, Trey, and everyone there, invited me 2018 to do the Goodyear blimp. And the Goodyear blimp lives at Frederick. It lives at the airport there when it's flying around. It's where
when it's in the region, they will, yes.
They tie it down at the Frederick airport, which isn't all that far from your ballpark, right there in the exit. So I went out, and when the blimp goes up, I'm in this beautiful Zeppelin, and my tour of it from the sky was like the Willy Wonka scene when the hovervator lifts off and you see the town. My whole view was Frederick and the mountains, and I could see Big Corks off to the south, and I could see Harper's Ferry off to the southwest. But we didn't make it to Hagerstown. We just kind of went up, moved around. But my one day in the blimp, my view was Frederick, Maryland. So all my pictures of your beautiful town.
I love it.
All right, I'm going to come back to Frederick. Did I leave anything out?
Not anything important.
Most important thing, if you're going to a Frederick Keys game, and this is a Bruce Springsteen line, ice cold beer at a reasonable price. That's all you can ask for in minor league
and
baseball.
Lots of choices.
All right. Well, congratulations on getting baseball back and the Orioles back. They're not the Nationals or the Yankees, which makes Michael O'Connor a good man. He is the mayor of Frederick, Maryland. Go out, see them, get breakfast, get lunch, get dinner, stay a while, spend the night, boutique it up, go to the Weinberg, get a good concert there. I'll come out.
Thank you, Nestor.
All right. Mayor Michael O'Connor joining us here. We are at Mako in Ocean City, Maryland. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. I have the Pressure Luck Scratch-Offs. I have the Lucky Sevens. I have bunches of these. The Maryland Lottery people want to give me more of them. We're beginning our 27 days of 27 eats. That's last week, but we're beginning the actual tour next Thursday. We'll be at Fadley's downtown at the new Lexington Market. On Friday, we'll be at Pizza John's in Essex. And then we move to Costas on Monday in Timonium. And we're going to be at Slancha in Fells Point on Tuesday. And then wrapping things up on the 27th at Coco's in Lauraville. We'll have crab cakes. We'll have guests. We'll have other politicians. We're going to have some local celebrities coming out, eating crab cakes, having fun, and eating my favorite foods. And one of them is everything on the menu at the Bakehouse in Frederick. So get up there. I'm Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. Back for more from Ocean City, Maryland, right after this.